Okay, so this is what's been happening, this is what I'm feeling like, and this is what I think we're gonna have to talk about. The difficulty, the process in being an artist, because some days it really gets to you, and I'm seeing what's happening right now. And let me give some clarity to those who are just starting, so that 5 years from now, when you are watching this and I'm doing good in the industry, I can tell you from where my headspace was at. What I'm seeing right now with social media platforms is all the engagement rates are dropping completely to the point where they're non-existent. So I believe Instagram will be non-existent in 2 years from 2020, and I think organic growth on YouTube's damn near zero, and organic growth on Spotify is really low too. And I think that's why a lot of people quit in this music thing. It's not because of talent, it's because of the patience process to want to keep doing this when there's just no support. It seems all the platforms, there's no support. You're putting money into this, you're not making money back, and you're not seeing any support. And you've been doing it for years and you're not seeing any support. So that's where the process comes of how bad do you want it to you attain it. Because that's why people leave. You know, if I were to tell you that it's going to take 10 years to do this, but after 10 years you'll be set, and it takes 1 year to make your life. After those 10 years, it takes 1 year. Would you do it? But you're going to be putting up $1,000 a month, and you're going to be constantly creating music, putting out content, and no one's going to see it for a very long time until one person does. That's hard. So for me, my piece of inspiration, or why I decided to make this video clip, is because I made this whole music career shit off the strength of I want to show people anyone can be an artist. You don't need to know how to rap, because clearly I don't, or I didn't. If you go back to my first videos on this channel, I didn't know, and I learned over years of practice and going to the studio, working a 9 to 5, and then sleeping for 2 hours, picking up my buddy, going to the studio from midnight to 6 in the morning, and going right back to work. Right? That's what it took. You know? Living on welfare stamps and being homeless. It took that. And can you afford to give up working, a career path in a 9 to 5? Maybe you decide to have a family. If you're around my age, that's when you look into it. Can you risk all of that for the hopes that you're going to succeed? And that's where people get lost, because you get into this music thing and you don't know it's not the music. Anyone can be talented. Are you able to do the sacrifices it takes to succeed? That's what makes the 1% of musicians. Most people can't. And you take a lot of ridicule from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers. People laughing at you, telling you, what is this garbage, and not supporting you. And you have to be able to be strong enough to get through that. And if you can get through everything I said, then you can do it. But everything's against you. So my advice is, you're gonna have to just fucking buckle down and be ready to sacrifice everything, knowing you're not going to get that time back. But if you believe in it enough to where you know you're sacrificing it and it'll be worth it, you won't need that time back, then it's worth it. And that's how you get into this game. That's the mindset you have to be in this game. No one tells you, no one's honest enough. One thing artists don't do is they don't tell people what it really takes and where your head is at. Like, all I talk about in my music, it's constantly having problems with dealing with addictions. For the longest time, that's what I started, because of the patience process, man. It's a lot that eats on you, it's a lot that weighs on you, and then you have family to support, and then that bears on you, because then you really need the money. And usually the money comes when you need it the least, when you've already done it for so long and you could have used that shit when you really needed it. That's this music game, man. That's this music game. I'm just starting to see success a little bit. I've just hit 100K on both platforms, which to me is huge. But that's not even the stepping stone to get to where I want to go. That's just letting me know that you put the time in, it'll pay off eventually. You hope. But I'm very hopeful that it will. And man, it's a fucking journey. I'm excited making these little videos. I hope to look back on these videos myself in the future and just think, Jesus, where was his mindset at the time? That's what I love about the music. It's like a diary of where your mindset is. And it's a intervention, because the pen and paper, they never judge you. So since I am always trying to be so politically correct, or I'm always in a business setting where I have to speak a certain language, or I have to speak at a certain capacity, you have to have an outlet. You have to have an outlet. Otherwise, you get addicted to vices. That's why everyone on Wall Street's a coke addict, or fucking into some weird, crazy sex stuff. But that's what it is. That's what it is, man. I just wanted to make this little clip. Do not quit. This is my adversity. This is where my headspace is at. And I think eventually it'll be worth it. I think so.